Hi dealers, thank you for attending our webinar today. We are going to be talking about marketing automation and why this tool is so effective in helping you close more leads for your dealership. We're going to be breaking down the logistics of the tool as well as the automated process that makes it easy to seal the deal. We'll also go over results that dealers have seen who are already using this service. My name is Lauren Lubunsky, and I am the Public Relations Manager here at DealerSpike. My co-host today is Kayla Demichich, who is our Marketing Automation Expert and the Manager of our Marketing Automation Department. So, Kayla, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. I've been with DealerSpike for about 2 years now. Originally part of the SEO team, I have since taken over the Marketing Automation Department, working to develop the program here at DealerSpike.
Great. So before we get started, I just want to point out your control panel that you should be able to see on your screen. You can expand that or minimize it any time just by hitting that orange arrow button in the corner. And also, we are going to be reserving some time at the end of this webinar for questions. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can type those into the question section that is on that control panel. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, we'd like to go over the 3 major touch points where marketing automation is really going to be making a big difference in online strategy for dealers. Kale, could you go over what those touch points are?
Sure. So the first and most obvious aspect of marketing automation we'll touch on is website traffic. The whole point of having a website is getting people to visit it, right? But there isn't a lot you can do if you have no idea who is visiting your site. We're going to talk about how marketing automation is going to help you identify your website visitors, also known as leads for your business, and how it allows you to start tracking the actions that those leads are taking on your site as well. Next, we'll touch on content marketing and messaging. This includes automated emails that help move your leads along the customer journey by sending those potential customers the right message at the right time, according to what they demonstrate interest in with their actions on your site. It also includes blog article content that helps educate customers, nurture their interests, and keep them engaged. And we're going to talk about automating dealership practices to make things easier and more efficient for your dealership in terms of proper follow-up pre-sale and post-sale. The automation element within marketing automation takes the guesswork out of follow-up processes and ensures that no customer falls through the cracks in terms of proper follow-up.
Great. So to start, let's dive a little deeper into website traffic. We know that this means the people who go online and visit our site, but how does website traffic relate to marketing automation?
So when it comes to our website traffic, we are dealing with a lot of data. There are numbers and stats that we look at when it comes to the top pages on our site that people are visiting, top manufacturers, the top units that people look at, and more. All of that information seems really helpful, and it is helpful to see which pages or units are most popular with online visitors. But without marketing automation, we don't know who these people are or what individual people are doing on our site. Numbers are just numbers, and your sales team doesn't really know what to do with that information. On your DealerSpike site, you have lead forms set up that collect good information. You know, their prospect name, email address, phone number, maybe their address or place of business, but these are all pretty generic items. How do you tailor a message to that person based on what little information you know about them? And even more importantly, how do you know which prospects who filled out a lead form are really serious about a purchase? How do you know who to follow up with first? Well, marketing automation is going to answer these questions.
That sounds incredibly helpful. You're right. How does your sales team know who to prioritize and reach out to right away? And what do they say to that person to get the conversation going? Knowing who's serious and who's not, and being able to mention specific units or model types that you know the person is interested in is a huge benefit.
Right. I also want to talk a little more in detail about email marketing. Your typical email marketing campaign is not very targeted. It's not personalized, and it may just be a generic massive send out about an upcoming sale, event, or something like that. And it may even be a little boring to your email recipients. In the retail industry, we typically see about a 24% open rate and a 4% click rate for the average e-newsletter. Sending emails and e-newsletter promotions that receive low open rates and low engagement is a waste of time for you and can actually damage your digital reputation if people are consistently ignoring your emails or just letting them go to their junk folder. Plus, what's the point of all that effort to create marketing emails if they aren't being delivered to the right people? The goal of email marketing is to encourage prospects to follow through with a sale, but receiving emails that aren't relevant to what they're actually interested in is more likely to push those prospects away. With an email that is automated or triggered based on an action that the recipient took, we see the average industry open rate increase to 46% and the average industry click rate increase to 11. And this makes sense because the e-newsletter is being delivered for a specific reason. DealerSpike's average open and click rates are actually even higher than this, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. Marketing automation makes email marketing more personalized, more specific, and more interesting for your recipients. It makes perfect sense that a customer would be twice as likely to open an email that was meant just for them. And with the technology available today, customers expect businesses to know what they are interested in. So it's important to put automation in place that allows us to deliver the kinds of emails they actually want. Another cool feature, we have technology that tells us if our emails are landing in a user's inbox or going straight to their junk folder. This keeps us from repeatedly sending emails to people who aren't interested in receiving them, which again can damage your digital reputation.
That sounds great. I definitely know how it feels to get an email from a company or a business that clearly isn't catered to me. An email that's personalized and specific to what I'm interested in is way more likely to get my attention.
Exactly. Last but not least, before we dive into the specifics of what marketing automation can do, let's touch on the automation features that make things so much easier for your dealership sales team. The automation process that kicks in once a website visitor has been identified as a lead can be set up with lead scoring and triggers to deliver certain actions. We're going to get more specific about this process in the upcoming slides, but these lead scores make it very clear when a lead has gotten to the appropriate stage for sales to reach out to them. In addition, marketing automation tracks exactly what leads are clicking on and engaging with on your website, in emails, and even on your social media pages, so that your sales team is able to use this information in how they follow up with that lead. It gives them a topic to talk about and an easy way to get the conversation started. As a whole, the automation process behind marketing automation allows you to rest assured that no lead is going to slip through the cracks. Each and every lead is monitored, tracked, scored, and kept in the system so that it receives the attention it needs, and you don't have to worry about remembering the details about each and every lead that comes your way. So now let's get into the marketing automation services that DealerSpike offers. We are going to help you learn more about your leads, target your communication efforts, and reach customers more effectively, ultimately helping your dealership turn more leads into sales in a way that is totally automated.
Awesome. I'm imagining there is a lot that goes into a marketing automation program. What would you say is the first step with marketing automation?
The very first step is when an online user visits your site and is identified as a lead. They will need to fill out a lead form of some kind to do this, but once we have their contact information, they become a part of our system and we can begin to track every action they take. And we can see actions they took even before they were identified as well. Then, we're going to take a closer look at lead scoring. This is how you define what type of lead is most important for your dealership and how your sales team is going to know who to follow up with first when those leads are coming in. Lead scoring is based on points, and the system is totally customizable to your individual dealership. Basically, the score is going to go up when a website visitor engages more with your business. This means doing things like filling out lead forms, visiting multiple pages on your website, or maybe the same page multiple times over the course of several days, clicking on or replying to the emails you send, visiting on social media, actions like that. And generally, if an online user doesn't interact with your dealership for a period of time, the lead score will go down to show that they're less qualified. But once again, the way that your dealership scores leads is completely up to you as an individual business. Maybe you consider a lead who reaches out on social media to be hotter than a lead who clicks on an email, so that social media interaction will earn higher points than an email interaction. Again, completely up to you. Your sales team can also get notified via text message when a lead goes up in score from warm to hot. A text message sent straight to your sales rep's phone assures that no time is wasted in following up with that lead.
It's really awesome that each dealer gets to define the lead scoring process based on what they care about most, because every business is so different. So what would be the next step in marketing automation?
So next, it makes the most sense to talk about email lists and segmentation. Earlier, we touched on the fact that a typical marketing email is generic and non-personalized. With marketing automation, you can create settings that add website visitors to specific email lists based on their on-site behavior, the leads they submit, their past purchases, and even more. This way, they are added to a segment that better matches their wants and needs, and you can target them with marketing communications much more efficiently. Having segmented email lists set up correctly ensures that the right audience members are receiving the right messages.
So, for example, a lead who has never purchased from you before isn't going to receive an email for a customer loyalty discount. Or, as another example, a customer who's only interested in a certain manufacturer is only going to receive promotions that are related to that brand.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Everything is personalized to the individual customer's wants and needs. The next step in the process is triggers. These define the threshold for automated communications. A trigger could be a lead form submission, a page view of a certain web page on your site, engagement with an email, whatever it is your dealership wants to define as a trigger that leads to an action. And that leads us to actions, which take personalized marketing emails to the next level. Triggers are linked to actions. For example, let's say a person receives an email about a trade-in form they had submitted and they click on that email. That could automate a second email featuring new inventory that particular user might be interested in.
So these triggers and the actions that follow them are super specific. Just like the lead scoring that's unique to each dealership, a business can decide what triggers and actions are most important and set them up accordingly.
Yes, and once those settings are in place, the automation takes over. This makes it really easy to make sure that every lead is receiving proper follow-up. And on that note, let's talk a little more about automated follow-up using workflows. Let's say that user A is interested in buying a new car and user B is interested in buying replacement parts for his current vehicle. Would you send both of them the same marketing email? No, that doesn't make any sense. You need to tailor your message to each customer based on their individual interests and needs. And you can use data gathered through marketing automation to segment and target those users based on their behavior both on and off of your website automatically. The best way to explain a workflow is visually. So take a look at the example workflow on your screen. As you can see, a workflow is a series of triggers and actions that automate your dealership's marketing communications. Typically, the first step we're going to see when an online user enters a workflow is a visit to the dealership website. The triggers and actions that come after this are up to each dealership. But let's say you've set things up so that once a visitor gets to a lead score of 80, your sales team will be automatically assigned and notified to reach out to them. The second example shows this dealer's follow-up process. Depending on the type of form that was submitted, different follow-up emails are sent, and depending on the action taken after receiving that email, a number of different paths can be taken by that user.
So the way that an online visitor moves through the workflow is dependent on the actions they take, but the workflow itself is designed to match the settings that you chose as the dealership.
Exactly.
So now that we have a basic understanding of how the different pieces of marketing automation work, I think it might be helpful to talk through some more in-depth examples so we can see the process in action.
Definitely. So let's start with this example. An online visitor finds their way to your page about a motorcycle riding class, but doesn't submit a lead. Visiting the page will trigger our Rider Course follow-up workflow. To make sure we're not sending emails to people who have already signed up, we set a filter to ensure that we're only targeting those who have visited the riding class page and have not filled out a form. They will receive an email titled "Want to Learn to Ride" with information on the class and a link to sign up. If they haven't signed up, we will send a second email one day later encouraging users to sign up before the next class. If they still haven't signed up, a third email will be sent 2 days later with an offer for 5% off of the class fee if they sign up within a certain time frame.
It's almost like the automation is doing the work for you. Instead of a salesperson having to reach out and get the information to know what the customer is interested in, that information is being collected in an automated and fairly foolproof way based on what the customer is actually doing.
Yes, marketing automation makes it so easy for salespeople to get to know the customer before they even make that first attempt at a sales pitch, and it saves a ton of time too.
Could you give us an example of how this might work with a non-prospect, so a customer who's already made a purchase from your dealership?
Absolutely. Let's say that following a purchase, a customer gets added to a sold email list. From there, they enter a workflow that sends maintenance reminders at different intervals based on the unit that was sold. So if they bought a truck camper, then 1 week later they'll receive an email with suggested parts and accessories. 3 months later, they can receive an email with suggested maintenance. And at 2 years post-sale, they will receive a reminder about trade-in options.
That's great. So they stay up to date with all of their maintenance needs, and no one at your dealership has to give it a second thought. It's all automated, and you're likely bringing them right back into your dealership for additional purchases.
Right. I'll give one more example that just really shows how specific, personalized, and targeted we can get with email marketing campaigns. Let's say that you're looking at your user segments and you find a small group of people who are interested in used units and spend time on the fifth wheel inventory pages. When you get a used fifth wheel as a trade-in, you can send an email to that small group of users with an exclusive offer featuring the unit and a call to action that says something like, all new fifth wheels in stock, schedule a viewing today to reserve your spot. Using dynamic features, marketing automation can personalize the email to each recipient.
So you're able to use strategic techniques to engage those users who are clearly interested but just haven't made the move to purchase yet. That's great. Marketing automation is clearly such a powerful and useful tool, and one that all of our dealers could really take advantage of to enhance their results, but there's also a lot to it. It seems like it could be really intimidating to get started. So what can a new marketing automation client expect when they sign up for the service with Dealer Spike?
So we actually have a custom new plan that we kick off with all of our new marketing automation clients to get their services running at full potential. The first few months of your campaign are packed full of emails, lead scores, segmentation, and not only does this plan serve as a good way to introduce marketing automation to your business strategy, but it's also going to set you up for success as you continue on with our program. During the first month, we are going to set up your marketing automation account, link it with your website so that we can start tracking visitors, and set up segmentation lists for a wide range of criteria. This is everything from what vehicle they're interested in to what price range they're looking for or any other custom segments you would like to set up to achieve your dealership's goals. From there, we'll create a unique follow-up email for each of your website lead forms depending on what the intention is for the use of that lead form. We will also set up automatic notifications to your salespeople when a lead goes from cold to hot, but more on that in just a few minutes. Lastly, your marketing automation rep will create a 6-month strategy for your marketing automation campaign based on the answers to your intake questions, website analytics, and the industry best practices. This plan will help guide various campaigns to help target, nurture, and engage your leads in a way that's really specific for your dealership.
So you're really creating a foundation for this tool to perform at the optimal level for success. That sounds great. What happens after that?
So after the setup phase has been completed, we will start to take a more targeted look at your automation emails. We'll analyze the performance of your campaigns, look for ways to tweak and adjust your campaigns for the best possible results. Each month, we will feature one sales initiative that your marketing automation representative will focus on based on campaign performance. Some examples would include engaging a newly identified user segment with an email campaign, adding dynamic elements to existing campaigns to increase user engagement, and developing new email campaigns to complement dealership initiatives like sales and events. In addition, you will receive one e-newsletter each month that can be sent to your entire email list featuring new units, events, promotions, and any other dealership announcements or updates that you would like to share. If you'd like to focus on a specific topic or send the email at a specific date, you just need to give our team this information as well as provide us with the necessary reference materials at least 5 days before the campaign is sent. That gives our designers enough time to create the email and make requested changes. For all of the creative work we do, we will always send you a copy to proof. For any changes to the work we provide, there is a 2 business day wait period before the changes can be made live. Our goal is to always ensure that your campaign gets set up in a timely manner and provides the value that you signed up for. If you want more than one monthly e-newsletter, there are additional resources available depending on the package level you choose with our marketing automation program. We'll touch on those in just a minute in the upcoming slides.
I think it would be great for our dealers to hear about the results that other dealers have seen using this tool. Can you tell us what kind of improvements and results dealers can expect using this service?
Absolutely. So we've been seeing great results with our marketing automation clients. And as you will see in just a minute, we have some amazing results from Alexandria Camping Center. First, I want to go over some industry averages when it comes to how effective marketing automation is for businesses. First, we'll look at some statistics for email marketing without the use of marketing automation. So without marketing automation, the average industry open rate for emails is 20.6%, and the average industry click-through rate is 6.4%. But with DealerSpike's marketing automation in place, the average results we see are 63.9% open rate, over 3 times the open rate for standard emails, and a 14.5% click-through rate, over twice as high as emails that are not sent using marketing automation. So as you can see, this makes a big difference in driving interest and nurturing leads through email marketing. It's also noteworthy to mention that on average, companies that excel at lead nurturing generate 50% more sales opportunities. Now, let's take a look at Alexandria Camping Center's email open and click-through rate last month, April 2019, using marketing automation. This dealership saw an email open rate of 84.85% and an average email click-through rate of 30.3%.
Wow, those are some incredible stats.
Yeah, they definitely are. And the other thing to keep in mind is that with marketing automation, a customer is so much more likely to return post-sale. Without marketing automation, that customer who bought a unit may not receive much follow-up, if any, and when they're ready for parts or service or to make another purchase, they won't really have a reason to return to your dealership. But marketing automation ensures that proper follow-up is given and helps you retain customers who then come back and buy from you again and again.
That's a great point. Not only are prospects being handled correctly, but past customers are well taken care of too, which is another huge missed opportunity for sales without marketing automation in place.
Absolutely.
Well, we are nearing the end of our presentation, but I think it would be helpful to give dealers an idea of the different package options we have available with marketing automation and what comes with each of those packages. So, Cale, could you give us the dealers a brief rundown of those options?
Definitely. So we would love to get you connected with a sales representative if you are interested in getting started. But the quick rundown is that we offer 3 packages: Light, Plus, and Pro. All 3 of our package options, including Light, come with customizable lead scoring, an easy-to-use dashboard within your admin panel, form submission filtering, the ability to export leads and reports, plus support and consultation from DealerSpike's marketing automation team. However, with our Plus and Pro packages, you're going to get so much more. With the Plus, you get things like pre-built dynamic email lists that are personalized to your dealership, preset automation workflows to kick off your first campaign, custom responsive lead form generation, and more. Our Pro package basically means that the DealerSpike team will do all of the setup and maintenance of your marketing automation campaign for you. You would work with us to let us know what's important to you and how you want to customize your marketing efforts, as well as create and implement your campaign strategy plan. You also have access to unlimited custom workflows, and you can set up text message notifications for your sales team members. Like I said, our sales team can go into a lot more detail about your options and everything that comes with each package, but we wanted to touch on the basics.
Great. Well, that takes us to the end of our presentation, but as promised, we are going to answer a handful of your questions. If you still want to ask a question, it's not too late. Just type it into the question section on your control panel. If you need to expand your control panel, as a reminder, you just need to hit that orange arrow button in the top corner to do that. And I will let Cale go ahead and answer the first question.
Sure. First question here, is there any benefit to marketing automation if somebody opts out of a newsletter? And that's a great question. So regardless of email preference, the marketing automation tool will still gather data on the user behavior, so the lead score that we set up will still be accurate. And then once we've identified users with a high lead score, your sales team can then reach out either by phone or a manually sent email. What happens to the website activity leading up to a lead submission? Is all of the data tracked? Another great question, and it absolutely is. So once a lead is submitted, the tool looks for previous traffic from that IP address and then will attribute that to the user. That's really helpful, especially in verticals where the buying cycle might be a little bit longer and you might not be able to identify that user until a little later in the buying process. Is the lead score adjustable after setup? Another great question, and yes, it absolutely is. As seasonality changes, so do your dealership's priorities. So we can update the score to put a heavier weight on whatever is important for your dealership at that time. And if you're seeing that maybe what we've identified as a hot lead isn't converting as well as you had hoped, we can work together to develop your algorithm in a way that's more useful for your dealership. Let's see, if we start automation now, will we have retroactive data to work with? So yes and no. The retroactive data that we have to work with would be whatever current email list you are using. As far as on-site user behavior and the user tracking, that cannot start until you have signed up for the program and we integrated our marketing automation tool with your website. How are automated responses managed for dealers with very individualized inventory? Another great question. So there's a few different ways we can go about this. Of course, your segments would be set up in a way that we could get as deep as the model level. We touched on manufacturer segments, vehicle type segments, but we can also target onto the model level based on what sort of pages users are browsing, and where they're spending their time. From there, we can take that information we've learned about a user and target them with that dynamic elements within the email. So if you have a user that's interested in your touring motorcycles, we can make sure that in your newsletter they have a featured block featuring your latest touring motorcycles. If your same dealership carries, let's say, snowmobiles, for instance, you don't want to send those users the same emails, and so within the email itself, we can target the snowmobile user with snowmobile images and call to actions, and then your motorcycle users with a separate set. But the information in the email about events and promotions can stay static across all of the users. All right, and we got one more question here. How does this integrate with our CRM and our DMS? And that really depends on which CRM you're using, and your sales representative would be able to provide some more info on that when you reach out.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we are out of time, and dealers, if we were not able to get to your question, we truly apologize. We did get a lot of questions, and we just have a limited amount of time to work with today, but you are going to be receiving a follow-up email after this webinar in about an hour, and that's going to allow you to very easily request more information if you'd like. You can also reach out to us directly using the contact information that you can see here on your screen. You can email us at sales@dealerspec.com or give us a call at 800-288-5917. Thank you so much for attending. And Cale, thank you so much for providing your marketing automation expertise today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. And thank you, dealers, for taking some time out of your busy schedules to attend today. I look forward to working with many of you to help increase the efficiency and targeting of your marketing.
Thanks, dealers. Have a great rest of your day.